Thanks for being here. Now, we all know what a scourge fentanyl has been across the New York area, New York City, Long Island, all the suburbs. But now we're seeing a new, even worse type of drug being mixed with fentanyl. It's also mixed with heroin and other addictive substances. This new drug could be a nightmare. It's called Xylazine. It's a deadly, skin-rotting zombie drug that evil drug dealers are now mixing with fentanyl, with heroin, and with other drugs. And it's already bringing a horrific wave of death and overdose to upstate New York, and it's on its way to New York City and Long Island, where we've already seen it begin to rear its ugly head. The DEA has just issued an urgent alert. The DEA reports that there is a widespread danger of Xylazine across the country. This is Xylazine, and let me tell you a little bit about it. Xylazine is a legal drug. It's used by veterinarians as an anesthetic for large animals, horses, cows, and other things. But recently, the evil drug dealers have found out that Xylazine, it produces a real high. And so they mix it with fentanyl, they mix it with heroin, they mix it with other drugs and tell these poor kids who don't know any better, this is even going to be a better high than fentanyl. The results are deadly. It can rot your skin, it can eat away at your bones, it can cause legs to be amputated, it can even cause death. And let me just say that the DEA, listen to this, the DEA drug administrator, Ann Milgram, the DEA drug administrator, Ann Milgram, said, quote, "This could be the deadliest drug threat our country has ever faced." And worse, Xylazine could make fentanyl look tame because it doesn't respond to Narcan. This evil drug, it's not evil when it's used legitimately, but this evil drug has no Narcan. Narcan has saved hundreds of thousands of lives because when our law enforcement find people and others, doctors, find people who have fentanyl, they administer Narcan quickly and it saves their lives. Xylazine does not respond to Narcan, and that is one of the great dangers for us. So we are here to sound the alarm and to propose a two-part plan to fight and to fund this evil Xylazine, and that's what we're going to do. As I said, it can cause severe wounds to the skin. It sometimes goes all the way to the bone, dead tissue, breathing and heart rates, infections. People lose their limbs because it eats away at the bone and the bone can't be saved. Now, as I said, the drug is not meant for humans. It's actually legal, but it's coming into the country through China and often through Mexico. And so these evil drug dealers have started peddling this drug because it mimics opioids and they can say it's an even better high. Okay? So our law enforcement officials know we have to have all hands on deck to fight this drug. What we've learned in the war on drugs is if you nip it in the bud, if you stop it before it gets its tentacles into our society, you can stop it. In Syracuse, there were 40 Xylazine overdoses last month. It's spreading in Albany, it's spreading in Rochester, and it's coming down to New York and Long Island. Okay? All right. And because it's not an opioid, it is Narcan resistant. So, today I am asking the DEA, which has just issued the alert, to focus on stopping Xylazine, this evil drug, in New York City. I am asking them to deliver a diversion control team. The DEA has diversion control teams. They are agents and law enforcement, but they are also chemists and other kinds of doctors, and they can swoop in on an area and deal with a drug problem. We are asking them to send a diversion control team to stop Xylazine here in the New York metropolitan area. So that's the fight. The funding In terms of funding, I am announcing a push as Majority Leader to increase the substance use and mental health services budget to New York and Long Island, so there's more dollars for law enforcement and for treatment of this, as well as education, because people are just learning what Xylazine is. The mission of the DEA's Diversion Control Division is to prevent, detect, investigate the diversion of controlled pharmaceuticals. You see, in other words, this is a drug that's not illegal, and these DEA diversion control teams fight to prevent it from passing from the path of legality to illegality. And on these diversion control divisions are investigators, special agents, chemists, pharmacologists, program analysts, everything we need to fight the drug. The diversion teams are to drugs like our Navy SEAL teams are to our national security. They're great, and we need one here, and I'm going to use my clout as Majority Leader to get it. In terms of the funding, as you know, as Majority Leader, I have a lot of say of what budget is put on the floor of the Senate, and I'm going to push very hard that SAMHSA, our drug control agency, get the tools it needs, the money it needs, to help us stop Xylazine here in New York and throughout America. Let me give you some more background. Last Monday, Special Narcotics Prosecutor Bridget Brennan told the City Council Committee on Public Safety, quote, this is our own New York City prosecutor, Special Narcotics Prosecutor Bridget Brennan. She said, Xylazine is increasingly linked to overdose deaths in New York City. This is not something that will happen. It is happening. We've got to stop it from getting worse. She said, let me quote her again, Xylazine is increasingly linked. I'm going to hold up the picture when I say it. Whoops. These are finished. Xylazine, says Bridget Brennan, our narcotics prosecutor, a special narcotics prosecutor for New York City, says Xylazine is increasingly linked to overdose deaths in New York City. It has been present in the city for about a year and is now beginning to saturate the street market. If there were ever a warning signal, a shot across the bow, this is it. That's what Bridget Brennan had to say. So, wait, let me just, they staple these things and I can't get them apart. New York City also revealed that officers uncovered more than 44 pounds of fentanyl cut with the extremely cheap-to-purchase Xylazine during a money launder operation in Queens. So as you can see, it's here. It's here. And on Long Island, I talked to both counties' toxicology officials. In Nassau County, they've detected a Xylazine uptick in autopsies. So far this year, Nassau has had 4 cases where Xylazine was in the deceased person and many other cases where the person didn't pass away. This is going to go up. So far, Suffolk has had 16 cases where Xylazine was found in a deceased person, and my worry is this is going to go up as well. So here's the bottom line. Here, take this. Xylazine is dangerous, it is deadly, it is here. Again, Xylazine is dangerous, it is deadly, it is here. We have to fight and fund, and that's what we're going to do. We need the DEA team, and we need the dollars. I am going to win both. Ready for questions on this subject? Oh, of course. Now we have the great Dr. Mike, who will tell you the effects of Xylazine on the body. It's worse even than fentanyl. Dr. Mike has done a great job, and he took a little time off to come here and be with us because he feels so strongly about this issue.
Absolutely. Education when it comes to medications that are being used illicitly like Xylazine is of utmost importance, especially during this time for not only individuals who may be at risk of purchasing this medicine on the street and for medical providers like myself who may encounter patients who have unknowingly consumed Xylazine. A little bit of background on the medication. In the 1960s, it was actually studied as an antihypertensive to lower blood pressure. And then we saw the tremendous negative side effects this medicine had, including respiratory depression, essentially shutting off the drive to continue breathing. So we immediately discontinued studying this medicine for this purpose. It was then transferred and FDA approved for veterinary use as an animal tranquilizer. However, illicitly, this medication is now being used to increase and extend the euphoric effects of fentanyl. And as we know, fentanyl is a huge problem, as the Senator just mentioned. Last year, there were over 100,000 deaths, overdoses from medications like this that are purchased illicitly. And the majority of them, to the tune of 66%, are synthetic opioids like fentanyl. So when you mix fentanyl with a deadly medication like Xylazine, it compounds the problem for the person taking the medicine and also for us in the healthcare industry. Because our normal response to a fentanyl overdose is the administration of a medication known as Narcan, which is an opioid reversal agent. However, if someone has consumed both substances, it will not have the same intended effect because Xylazine is not reversible by Narcan, again, as the Senator has pointed out. We are still advising our medical communities to administer Narcan because we do want to reverse the opioid effects of fentanyl in many of these cases. And when you come to someone on the street who is unconscious and potentially have consumed an illicit substance, we don't know which substance that they have consumed. As the Senator has pointed out, very dangerous medication, puts a lot of lives at risk, and makes the care for our patients that much harder during this opioid crisis.
Thank you. The great Dr. Mike. Yes.
Sure. Dr. Mikhail Varshavsky, board-certified family medicine.
Spell that, Dr. Mikhail Varshavsky.
Dr. Mikhail.
It's not Smith.
Sure. Dr. Mikhail Varshavsky, Mikhail, last name V as in Victor, Arshavski, board-certified family medicine physician.
And he has a lot of followers online as well. But they may not know how to spell his name either. Okay, questions on this subject? China mainly sends it to Mexico and it comes across the border. And that's why we need the DEA involved heavily, because our New York City police do a very good job here, but it's coming from across the border. It's not indigenous here. There are veterinarians, a few, who use it here, or not many, because there aren't that many horses or cows in New York City, but they use them around the country. Yes, look, we first got to stop it from coming in, but we also should now, there's a way that DEA can make this illegal to import, and I think that's something we would certainly explore. Anyone else on this subject?
I think they want you to hold up the photos again.
Okay. This is the letter. This is the DEA report. I'll hold up both. Okay. Here we go. Got it? Do you want me to come out in front of it? Here, I'll do it here, too. You like it there? Okay, sorry. Okay. All righty. Thank you very much, everyone. We'll take one or two.
All right, so that is Senator Chuck Schumer warning of what he calls the, quote, deadly skin-rotting zombie drug. He says Xylazine is being mixed with fentanyl by drug dealers and that people are dying. He says a warning has been issued and he wants the DEA to step in and prevent it from being imported into the U.S. We will continue to follow that and bring you updates here on Live Now from Fox.